Hey, what's going on, all you folks out there in the internet land, you Stoop crew and others? It's me, Spawny Mark, kicking off another Friday night happy hour. Lolo will be with us. We just don't know when. He says he's tied up. I think the children have him tied up. He's been duct taped to a wall or something like that, and he's negotiating in leftover Halloween candy. It has been a long week, so much going on. So let's just go ahead, John. Let's crack this.
I had so many last night, so I'm just drinking water.
Okay, well, I think he's hiding something. I'm drinking our unofficial sponsor, the Keg and Lantern, a beautiful beer that is or used to be repped by our very own Mr. Matt Kantak. It is absolutely delicious, and for once, it is a beer that I enjoy that is very low in alcohol, so I don't get too salty. Although, you know what? This season I don't have it. I can be salty about. God damn! Don't you wish your loved ones looked at you like I looked at that beer? But I don't have a lot to be salty about. I can maybe blame some of the calls against Wolves, but for the most part, we are playing very, very inspiring ball, considering all the adversity, considering that we had a shed of a lot of our starters. We fired our manager literally 36 hours before the start of the season, and we're not too bad. We're not too bad at all. Raise your hand if you beat Man City. Yeah, that's right. And I think Lolo and Gary and all you Arsenal fans can do that too. But I tell you what you can't do. Raise your hand if you beat Man City and Tottenham. Oh, I get to do that. I don't think anybody can do that. What a match last, I guess it was Saturday, the first match of the day, 7:30 in the morning, our time here on the East Coast of the US of A. One of the best goals I've ever seen was Pablo Sarabia, that little one touch with his left and throws it into the net with his right. Absolutely felt absolutely delicious. And I can go on and on and on, but I think y'all gonna be really bored about that. Something I saw in today's news as far as football, I forget it's the international break, and I forget that there is football to watch because I just don't think it counts because it's not league. But the Marcelo Bielsa, his national squad, the Uruguayans, done beat Argentina. Argentina's first loss since they won the World Cup, and those are two inspiring wins by Uruguay because they beat Brazil not too long ago. We've got a couple of Leeds boys in the wings, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring them in because I'm running out of steam already. So if we can bring in these knuckleheads. Oh, timeout! I've been told. Somebody's who do we have? Who do we have, John? What are we doing? I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost here. But that's okay. In the comments, we've got Brummer's Ghost talking about the 10 points that were deducted from Everton. We'll be hitting upon that later on today for all you toffee haters. We got Anders saying hello here. Pink Cushion saying "I'll do." I'm assuming that means how do you do? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, someone's computer froze. Okay, not a big deal. I can bring those guys on. We're going to bring in Villa Martin all the way from the UK. And we're bringing in Mr. Tom. How you guys doing?
Guys.
Hello, I was just mentioning the there we go. That's much better. I was just mentioning the Bielsa win with Uruguay Tom, you seem pretty happy about it. You placed a bet on that.
I did. It would have been in the betting in the dark, but unfortunately they decided to schedule the game outside of the betting in the dark. So unfortunately, but yeah, no, as we were just lightly discussing it backstage, it was Bielsa's unbeaten there. I believe it's the first ever win for Uruguay in World Cup qualifying in Argentina. So
yeah,
the Bielsa masterclass is all round, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least he is able to have found success after no longer being with Leeds. I would love to see a Bielsa style ball or Bielsa ball in the World Cup in any sort of group stage, just to see.
Been there
just to
before,
see
Mark.
what that would be like. You know, just how it translates on an international stage.
Not great usually, to be fair.
Not great.
Well, for example, sorry, don't mean to hog it, but basically he had the record amount of goals in, it was either total or South American qualifying in 2002 with Argentina. You see the Argentina team he had in 2002. It's criminal that he did not win the tournament. But not only did he not win the tournament, he went out in the first round.
Yeah.
You see, now this is something that when one says that you learn something new every day. I had no idea that Bielsa was the manager for Team Argentina. I had no idea.
Yes, I think it's between 1998 and 2002, something like that.
Right.
Also, Chile as well.
Chile, did Chile as well, didn't he?
Did he? When was that?
Yeah.
That would have been
before
when they won the Copa America. So that might have been, what was it, 2015, 2016? It was just before that.
Okay.
But basically, all the players he brought through their youth setup were part of that team that then was successful.
Right.
It's why they don't hate him, similar to us.
I saw that Nunez scored yet again, and maybe this time it was a little more. It was a bit sweeter because his father has been returned to the family. I'm not really sure under what circumstances, if there was some sort of like raid on the captors or anything like that. But I had been reading in the news the last few days that his father has been released by the captors, the kidnappers, those bastards. So all's well in the family of Nunez. David,
Uncommon, unfortunately.
that is a very, very sharp Leeds. I guess in over on the other side in the UK, would you refer to that as a jumper?
It's a tracky top.
Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. It is very. It's very subdued in its.
Like the three stripes.
Yeah.
3 stripes.
Yeah.
You get from a Chinese market, you have 4 stripes.
or two and a half.
Actually, I think
I was going to say 3.5.
I would think that it does have 4 stripes, but maybe after time, a couple of the stripes will fall off, as did to one of my Madrid tops that I bought when I was visiting in Madrid many years ago. I recently pulled it out of storage, and I was like, it was literally falling apart, and I don't really understand. Like it was like it had a very sticky feel to it, and I was just like, this was properly stored. And then somebody told me, I was like, yeah, you got one of the knockoffs. Oh well.
I need to do my Real Madrid shirt.
Talking about Nunez and his father getting kidnapped, I can't remember which player it was, former player of Chelsea. But I saw an interview with this player. I can't remember who he is, which is such a shame. But he had a similar situation when he was playing for Chelsea. And apparently, Mr. Abramovich had a word with him and asked him if he wanted it.
It was John Obi Mikel.
That's it. You're right. Yeah, it was.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, how Imagine your chairman, club owner, just saying, Mark, I understand you have a problem. Would you like it sorted?
Oh my God, David. Okay, so I don't know if you guys or anybody watching in the audience has ever watched the TV show, not the movie, but the TV show Fargo. And I'm revisiting it right now. If you haven't had a chance, just watch it because it is a lot of fun. But I'm revisiting it and I'm watching the first season, and there's this character who plays the hitman, and I can't think of his name right now. He was married to Angelina Jolie. I can't think of
Billy
his
Bob
name right
Thornton.
now. Billy Bob Thornton plays a hitman. And he's sitting in the hospital, and he's trying to convince this guy. It's like, yeah, you got a problem with this dude. I can take care of him. Just say the word. And it's an absolutely amazing scene because Billy Bob Thornton's face is just so like, I want to kill him. I want to just here I go killing again. This will be fun. But actually, I want to roll back to one of these comments here while we're waiting for the Lolo. And that was by Mo Master, and he had said something along the lines of that instead of it being since here we are, since Messi won his plastic Ballon d'Or, you mean, Mark? I guess so. But I guess that means that Mo Master does not believe that Messi should have won the Ballon d'Or.
I don't think
the more I learn about the Ballon d'Or, the more I'm learning that it is an empty award. But what are your guys' thoughts on Messi winning that? I don't think we've talked about it much. We talked about it upcoming, but now that it was all said and done,
he won it based on something he did 12 months ago, even though it's for this year.
Right, but
I mean, when he played in America,
it's meant to be, as you say, it's a consistency award, isn't it? As the best player, but he wasn't even the best player in the World Cup. He was one of the best players, and I still think if it hadn't have been for Di Maria, they wouldn't have won the final. He was the guy. He was the guy who ran that.
Saudi Arabia.
He ran that final. Di Maria.
Yeah. He did. They did lose to Saudi Arabia, but it was like that was kind of the wake up call, so to speak, for Argentina. And I think Messi put that team on his back, and
but as soon as Di Maria got substituted, France then were like, all right, let's have this.
Yeah.
Y'all have better memories than me.
Very fortunate. Di Maria was unbelievable.
Yeah, I seem to remember
something David said that I found interesting. He's not wrong. He's not wrong in like him saying it is about how it's a consistency award. That's how all awards should be. Should be what is the best over a period of time. The reality is it's incorrect in reality because what it actually is a marketing exercise for FIFA and the French newspaper or magazine that decides it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
also the votes are very regional a lot of the times.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm very sure about that part. But who did deserve it if not Messi? I mean, I guess winning the treble at Holland, but
the answer is they both scored 2 goals in the World Cup final.
And these comments
at least 2 goals in the World Cup final.
I'm not taking anything away from Messi and his achievements and his contribution in that World Cup because he was fantastic. But in the actual final itself, Di Maria for me was the player that made the difference.
Looky who's here now.
It's all about opinions.
Goody gumdrops. Thank goodness. I was running out of steam, my friend.
What's up, fellas?
Welcome. The kids let you go? They cut you down?
Yeah, finally. So I'm here. I've been trying to listen to you guys. I've been listening to you say how Nunez scored and Nunez
totally
is
screwed
dad,
it up.
and I'm like, guys, come on, it's Diaz. Diaz is dad.
Hey,
Please.
since when do we know facts on this show? And when do I know what I'm talking about? That's what you get for having me
Wait,
start things
there's
off.
a footballer called Nunez and Diaz.
Yes.
I thought Bielsa scored all the goals.
Well, he did pretty much. And then Mo Master saying Messi won his plastic Ballon d'Or. Well, after 7, they run out of gold. Like they got to start making them out of plastic. They're going to run out of money. But good to see you guys. I've been waiting to crack open a beer with y'all. Happy Friday, everybody.
Cheers.
Great to see you guys.
All right. Open this bottle of Pepsi.
All right. So, are you ready for me to take over, Mark?
Absolutely.
You're like, I'm talking. All right. So here we go, guys. Everton, big news today. Everton has been sanctioned. 10 points, drops them down even lower than they already were. They had 14 points. They now have 4 points. They're not even bottom. 1 win gets them out of the bottom 3 if the other 3 don't win. But I'm so happy to have Leeds United fans on here because I want y'all's opinion on this because this, again, if you compare their sanction to what's going on with Manchester City and what's going on with Chelsea, for example, Everton are being punished for managing their club poorly and for losses, which leads me to think about how Leeds United were docked points, and you were docked points, and then you were docked additional points for mismanagement. What's it called? What was it called, Tom?
They went into
administration.
We went into administration. Administration. Yeah.
So something like that. It's a lot more similar to what's going on with Everton right now, less like what's going on with Man City, because Man City has bigger issues. This is more of a simple one of you're mismanaging it and you spent all this money and you had no revenue and blah, 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 dock points, which is why it's going to take longer with City. But I want to know from you guys, is a 10-point deduction enough?
No.
And are Leeds United and the other teams that got relegated last season going to actually sue Everton or sue the FA? Because had they docked these points at the end of the season, y'all would have stayed up, right?
I think it's important
I want to hear
say,
some anger from the Leeds United fans. Let's hear it, Tom.
I've got a lot of anger at this, but I think it's important to say, people are going to say, you finished 19th, you wouldn't have survived. But the point of it is that this went over a period of time. There were at least 3 seasons where we were in the Premier League where they failed financial fair play each time. And obviously, we progressively went backwards at the time, to be fair. But the ramifications or the financial ramifications of relegation ain't just as simple as the TV money. We had to sell players. You have to keep in mind, we had to sell 2 players. We sold them for a lot of money, but that was so we could buy players and not fail financial fair play. Everton obviously did not have the same belief. Them getting fined the 10 points is basically telling me the punishment doesn't fit the crime, and you might as well do the crime because it's more beneficial than what the punishment's going to be anyway. Because ultimately, Leeds might as well have spent an extra 100 million on players. That might have got us the 2 points we required. Because ultimately, this is more 2 years ago than, say, last season. But basically, Everton beat Crystal Palace in that match on the Thursday night. But they must have had a player that they overpaid for in terms of financial fair play that helped them get that. Like the wages they paid Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for example, is probably a big contributor to why they failed financial fair play. They should have
signing
player.
Players like Iwobi from Arsenal for 40 million when he couldn't get a game in at Arsenal. yet he's worth 40 million, and we sold Shaka for like 26 or something like that. That's where you start looking back at these and you're like, okay, so you got Damari Gray for 3 million. That's cool. But Iwobi for 40? Like, what is going on here? And now they have didn't they picked up some more players? Did they get?
They've overspent on
Tielemans?
mediocre
Who got
footballers for a long time.
Yeah.
They bought Gylfi
Villa.
Sigurdsson for 40 million. Well, less said about him, the better, obviously. But they then paid out for Wayne Rooney on free transfer, I believe, but paying him massive wages and got nothing from him. And that's what they've done for a long time and progressively gone backwards because of it. And people are going to say, oh, you're just bitter because you went down. It's like, well, yeah, because... And I'm not necessarily saying we deserve to stay up and like put us back in the Premier League and not because Leicester finished above us. But the fact of the matter is why did we sell 2 players to not do what Everton have done? But then Everton have just gone, oh, fuck it. We'll just pay massive wages to players. Because if people don't see us spending 50 million on players every transfer window, they're going to think we're not spending a lot of money. But we don't see the wages that they spend on their players, which is majorly why they found this. And like they said, like they've got, it was like COVID costs and stadium costs. Generally, your stadium doesn't actually cover financial fair play, like your infrastructure of your club. But apparently the way they did the actual payment structure, or like through loaning money with banks, that contributed to them failing. But again...
Yeah, they didn't take loans actually from the mainstream banks, did they? They took it from the owner, which apparently is a bit of a no-no. And it's also a knock-on effect. If you're paying over the odds and breaking the budget one year, you're benefiting in the following years. It's a knock-on effect every season. It's not just a one-off season thing. It carries on.
The Premier League have waited. Sorry, the Premier League have waited until Everton have become mid-table form team. But so you're not really punishing them because they've become a better team and the bottom of the Premier League has become significantly worse. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and this is a season where 10 points aren't really going to bother you.
Difference.
And let me ask you this. I know 10 points is 10 points. At the end of the season, 10 points is 10 points. But does it matter docking them now versus docking them at the end of last season versus docking them at the end of this season?
Yeah.
I know the answer to that, but I want to ask you guys, is 10 points always 10 points? Or is November 10 points a sweet time to take 10 points?
No, last year they would have been relegated, full stop. So docking them 10 points last year when they were really poor, that would have had a real effect on them.
Docking them 3 points last year would have killed them.
This year make no difference whatsoever because they're a decent side this year and the sides that got promoted are really poor. And within, I reckon, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're going to be out of the relegation zone. So, it's nothing more than a slap on the wrist.
They'll be laughing at us by Christmas.
Before Christmas.
I think it's surprising that the deduction happens now. I mean, to say that it could have happened last year, the year before, sure, that could have happened, but it didn't. The deduction is coming this season. My question is why is those points being deducted in November and not in May at the end of the season? So it's like, not only Everton knows that they are facing that deduction, so their quality has to step up, but then everyone else around them knows that they're facing that. And it's just like, hey, we can really put this, especially in the relegation side and the crapper side of things. it's like we know that that they're facing that. Let's go out and get them.
I don't know that it makes a lot of difference.
Why deduct it? Why deduct it in November and not in May?
Because the finding has come out now, so therefore it must be immediate. And if you think about it, the whole problem is because the Premier dragged their feet working with Everton for 2 seasons and a bit, and then they handed it on to, it's not the Premier that have done this, it's an independent commission that have found them. So once that's come out, once they've found them to be guilty of breaking the rules, boom. But they wanted 12 points, the Premier, and the independent commission have only awarded 10 points.
10.
Right.
Yeah.
It just seems that the punishment would have more teeth if it was applied at the end of the season, because then they're watching themselves drop at the end of the season, and because it's a tiered reward money system, they're losing money at the end of the season by dropping those 10 points, which could mean easily 5 spots.
They'll lose money regardless, won't they?
Sure.
Regardless, so.
Oh, it's Everton.
Well, no. I mean, I feel like doing it at this time of the season allows them to regroup as a team, and look who they have as their manager right now. He's perfect for this, of going, all right, lads, they're gonna fucking knock us 10 points. We're gonna show them we will not be relegated. And now, as long as they're not relegated, it's a successful season, and Everton can claim, even though we got fucked.
Exactly.
Which is wrong. They didn't get fucked. They actually, 10 points, as somebody said in here, 10 points is a piss take.
It is.
They can have a successful season by just not being relegated. Now, Mark, you're asking why, and I'll tell you exactly why. It's the same reason we're having so many issues with red cards and non-red cards, and all of this is not wanting to negatively affect the outcome of the game. So if they do that at the end of last season, they are deciding that Everton are being relegated and one of these other teams isn't. Doing it now doesn't really affect the season, because Everton aren't top of the table and Everton aren't bottom of the table. They waited, as Tom said, they waited for a perfect time. And it's why City, it's going to be forever until City is actually sanctioned. And when they're sanctioned, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, you're getting a 50-point deduction taken over 5 years at 10 points a year, and City will be fine because they'll go into the season knowing that. And they'll be absolutely fine because the money is there for the Premier League. The money isn't there for Everton. Now, the Premier League want Everton to stay up. Believe it or not, they are a very big club, and they are one of the oldest clubs to be in the Premier League, to continually be in the Premier League. So they don't want Everton relegated per se. They want Everton relegated on their own merit if it happens, but they don't want to negatively affect the season. So November is a perfect time. This is why you see Chelsea actually helping out and providing documents where City is not providing documents, because Chelsea's going, we're having a shit season already. We're not going to win the league. But we're also not going to be relegated. So if we could get our deductions out of the way this season while we're rebuilding,
if we can get it sorted,
just get it sorted.
City's going, don't look at shit. This is a tight season at the top. 10 points could actually lose the league for City.
But and you bring up City, but hasn't this been like an ongoing thing for like the better part of 5, like longer than the Stoop? This has been going on for a long time, and it just goes to the courts, and it goes to the courts, and it gets appealed. And
part of it was because it was done. UEFA, wasn't it? UEFA, came to an agreement with them.
Yeah,
behind closed doors.
Well, and a lot of it is Everton is only dealing with the Premier League right now, which is the FA, right? City and Chelsea have been in the Champions
Premier League and the FA are two separate things. Sorry. But because if it was the EFL, Lolo, they'd be relegated.
City have the Champions League to deal with as well, where if they've fucked up the way that it's being claimed they fucked up and they've cheated, they've also cheated the Champions League, which they've won during this time, and they've been in contention the entire time all of this has been happening. So there's a little bit more of a sticky situation, to continue on the Toffees references that are going in the comment section. To put it plainly, Everton's situation was a lot easier to manage and to deal with. One crime versus 150 crimes. Now, not all
the
of
big teams
City's...
ain't going to get angry at what happened to Everton, are they?
Yeah. Now you start saying we're going to take trophies away from City. We're going to just not have winners from the years that they won. Then what happened? Like, there's all this other shit. You dock Everton points and you just have to deal with them.
It's nothing.
That's it.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. It's a big club thing. It's like if I stole something from a shop versus a rich person's kid stealing something from the same shop, I can go to jail, no problem. A rich person's kid they're going to wait and they're going to deal with it and look at all the facts and look at all this and postpone and wait because that person going to jail has a bigger knock-on effect than if I go to jail.
Right. That actually reminds me.
You're not rich. You're not rich. What the hell am I doing here?
Once I cut you guys your checks, I won't be rich anymore. I'm using y'all's for the interest.
3 years of counting.
Oh,
we're waiting for that.
Christ.
Hey, you got one check, all right? You got one
I
check.
so look forward to all that Monopoly money I'm going to be receiving at the end of the year. But no, it reminds me of Lolo, what you had just said. It reminds me of that lawsuit or that trial that happened a few years back where the guy that was guilty, and I think it was because it was drunk driving and he crashed into a family's car and killed almost everybody in the car. But he was like,
this was just a normal person,
his lawyer,
footballer.
This was like this was just in the news. And this kid claimed, or his lawyer claimed that it was like, well, the kid didn't know the ramifications of driving drunk. And I think the term that was used was that the lawyer had said that his client suffered from affluenza, where he was too affluent to know the rules and to think that they applied to him.
Yeah. So we'll get the whole they were too Arabian Peninsula enza, where they're used to being able to do whatever they want because they own their country and they own everything else that they don't understand. They didn't realize it was illegal to fund your team with all of your money.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that these situations, they obviously will resolve themselves. They have resolved itself somewhat with Everton, but I don't see it resolving itself in a retroactive way. I don't see trophies and titles being taken away from anyone.
Mark, let's talk about
just
that,
moving forward.
No one's going to want that, are they? Because deep down, you never really want it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is you can't go back and say, okay, Liverpool win this one, Real Madrid wins this one. It can't.
That's what I'm saying.
But what can happen is you can take their trophies and then we won't, for 2020 or whenever, when Liverpool lost by like 1 point, we just won't have a winner that year.
That's bullshit, though, isn't it?
We know that's not happening. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen
right.
because when the New England Patriots had tapes and tapes and tapes of practices, and that it was found that they were indeed cheating, what did the commissioner do? He said, destroy the tapes and that'll be that. There was nothing that happened. Nothing happened to New England. We all know it in our hearts as fans. We can say that
but that's a different type of cheating.
But there's
I think it's okay to watch the other team train. To be honest, I'm perfectly fine with it.
As Tom has just highlighted, there has been a precedent when Juve lost the title and it was given to AC.
Oh, was that
Yep.
back in like 2004?
I think it was 2006 because Juventus got relegated to Serie B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they got a 30-point deduction as well, but that may have
Right.
been reduced on appeal.
Right.
Can't remember specifically. Someone's going to know more than me. But basically, that trophy, the is it called the Scudetto? Apologies again.
Yeah.
They handed that to Inter Milan. Like officially, Inter Milan won Serie A that season, but deep down, everyone knows they didn't.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kind of
it means nothing to the guys who actually played that season, does it?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
It's like getting a gold medal in the Olympics 6 years after the event. You know?
Yeah,
You didn't have the moment.
Mark, if you want to stick on your football, look at like Reggie Bush. Won the Heisman, got the Heisman taken away. The Heisman wasn't given to somebody else. There's just no
Fair.
Heisman winner that year.
Fair.
And so
You know.
we need to look at it though specifically and say, okay, if Man City were actually cheating and they're found to be cheating financially, to be illegally obtaining these amazing players who did amazing
Arsenal
things
still
on the
don't
pitch,
get the title.
I don't want that. I don't want the title. But what I'm
Sounds
saying
like you
is,
kind of do, though.
no. If anything, it's Liverpool for
I
me.
don't,
That should
but
be
I
really
do.
mad. Arsenal weren't close enough. Even last season, like, do not hand us that fucking title. That doesn't belong to us. Because they were outplayed on the pitch. Now, if they obtained those players illegally, like Tom was saying about Everton, Leeds had to sell players. Everton bought players. They stayed up. You didn't. So if that has been happening, you have to go back as far as it's been happening and then say, we're docking you 10 points for that season, 10 points for that season, 10 points for that season, and we'll see where you land if you still would have won the league, if you still would have won whatever. But how can you just say, no, keep your trophies? You're still champions of Europe, even though you used illegal players. Even though you obtained your players illegally, we're still going to give you all the accolades of winning all of that. To me, that's not fair. It's not.
The whole problem with the City thing, though, is that it's been dealt with at UEFA at that level. And now you're talking about the Premier League. So they're two separate entities. And this is the problem with the City.
They don't want to have to deal with it either. It clearly don't want to have to deal with it.
No.
Because
But
what should
that is a
happen
big
is
problem.
what should happen is what they don't want to do. Because all the rightful punishments. Again, I'm really not an expert on this. All right, I'm just speculating. But the punishments people seem to want to happen will make the Premier League worse. It'll make it fairer, but in terms of when TV deal negotiating time comes around and stuff, the Premier League are not going to have as big a hand to play when they're like, oh, I'll say you've got Haaland and Manchester City, like great football team. No, we had to relegate them. Come and watch the big four now, and Luton.
Right.
Yeah, but saying
question
that, Tom, what would happen if City got relegated? The players would leave; they'd all go elsewhere. So you might end up with another team that comes up, and then the competition actually becomes
they're called
better,
Newcastle.
You know.
For me, look, City is Manchester City is a new world stage club.
Yeah, Novo Reeves.
They don't have the history of a lot of older clubs that have been there forever. That's why we all make fun of their fan base for not really having a legit fan base. This is something that if they got relegated would actually clear out a lot of the plastic fans and see who those real Man City fans are. And maybe in one season, they come right back up. If they get down relegated 2 leagues, maybe they come right back up and we see who the real Manchester City is. And then when they come up, we got a lot more respect for them.
Well, we know the real Manchester City is. They're the lads that don't turn up on Champions League nights because it's boring.
Yeah.
I just kind of wonder, are there other ways that you can, penalize a club? Because, in this particular case, 10 points for Everton right now, that it's not going to mean much. It's more of a gesture, so to speak. But are there other ways that a team can be punished? So like maybe like they're handcuffed from like how much they can,
Chelsea
who
got
they
that.
can who they can go
transfer embargoes.
Transfer
Chelsea had that
embargoes.
for 2 seasons or so.
But they have been doing that.
Either.
Maybe a suspension of the manager for a year.
They have actually been doing that, Mark.
Yeah.
In their working with the Premier League, they have had a certain embargo on their transfers. However, what happens in summer? Leeds get relegated, and then Everton want to buy their players for 20, 30 million. I mean, where's this money coming? So they're still carrying on, even though this is the sword of Damocles is hanging over them.
Sure.
But they're still carrying on in the manner that it's cheating. What they were doing, it wasn't mismanagement, it was cheating. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
don't know. I mean, I think it in some respects, just the sheer specter of of the FFP and being found guilty of irregularities, can handcuff a team. I mean, look at Wolves. I mean, there's even the thought that they would have violations of FFP, and then they've just over the summer just wholesale sold like half the team.
Did I hear Sword of Damocles?
Yes, the sword of Damocles hanging over my head by a thread.
You have to dumb it down for this crowd. You can't be giving references like that.
Sorry about that.
Anyone that has watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show knows what the sword of Damocles is. That ain't no crime.
Finger the duck.
And it's Finger the Duck, everyone. Finger the Duck.
Or AKA Fuck
Finger
Duck.
the Duck.
Fuck Duck.
Well, this has been a great conversation, guys. I mean, at least in my mind, I don't know what you guys think of it, but this is very, very interesting. And it's all speculative, of course, because as we know, deep in our hearts of hearts, not a goddamn thing is going to happen to City. Not a goddamn thing. I guarantee you there's maybe 3 to 7 actual major issues. Major.
Well, I get sick of discussing them. That's not to be rude to anyone, but like, for example, I'm sure you won't mind me saying it. It was like I was talking to Sam Greenwood earlier, and he brought up Man City. Like, when's it going to get Man City started? I'm sitting there thinking that really has nothing. Like, to me, in how my team suffered in this, Man City have fuck all to do with it.
Yeah,
but they are always going to get compared because of the similarities, despite how different it is to me or us or whatever. But as you said, it's like you're discussing something when you all know the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, it's a subjective thing, but you all know and fuck all's going to happen.
But see, I would like to think Leeds United, it's this whole modern world that we live in today of, Jimmy just mentioned history in Europe started before 1776. And I feel like
history in America started before 1776.
The Premier League has exploded in the past 10 years because of the United States and the Americas jumping on board with it, because of the internet, because of people being able to see, to being able to watch it. As I've told you guys, it's easier for us to watch every single Premier League match than it is for anybody who lives in London, or anybody who lives in England. It's easier for us. But that leads to a lot of newer fans, a lot of younger fans who think history is Chelsea have always been amazing. Man City have always been amazing. Man United and Arsenal and Liverpool are old clubs. And you're like, and Tottenham are just as good as the rest of them. When I'm like, no, this recency bias, we cannot say that City will not be sanctioned or anything because it'll be bad for the Premier League. Leeds United were one of the biggest clubs in the world when you all were sanctioned and dropped down to a league and then dropped down another league and then dropped down another league. The Premier League wasn't scared about revenue loss then. Now you've got a bunch of young fucking 25-year-old twats wearing suits that are dictating all this and saying we cannot set a precedent of relegating the number one team in the league for the past 3. And I'm like, you did it to fucking Leeds United. Leeds United were, yes, you may have been coming down.
Premier League didn't punish us. It was when we were in the EFL, because the EFL doesn't fuck around. I'll tell you this, though, I was going to say earlier, if Everton had, even the first year they failed financial fair play, they would have been given the points deduction like that. They do, as soon as you even mention the word, like the first syllable of administration, the EFL were on you like a fly on shit.
That's why you've had teams like Bournemouth almost go to the wall, and clubs like Bury and other clubs, small clubs, bang, you're out. There's no compassion whatsoever. It is you're in administration, you've broken the rules, nobody's coming to buy you, you're off.
Yeah,
and it's black and white.
That's where I think we need some fucking ruthlessness to be able to tell these teams, I don't care if you're the big six financially speaking. Somebody showed me the top 10 list of the wealthiest clubs in the world, and it was 6 of the 10 were in England, and they are the quote unquote big 6. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If they've cheated their way to get there, then they need to fucking go down and be one of the biggest clubs in the world that's also playing in the fucking championship or below. And if you are that great of a club, you can get out, no problem, right? We'll give you parachute payment.
I watched a documentary, 3-part documentary the other day, and that was on the European Super League and all that was going on at the time. Very interesting, very, very interesting.
And David, not to interrupt you, but is that the one that's on Apple?
Yeah.
I want
really
it's on my watch list.
Yeah, very, very good. Very good. Gives you good insight and everything. And I tell you how I feel. As much as, I have a soft spot for Arsenal. I hate Liverpool. I hate Man U. I don't mind Man City. But quite frankly, if they had all gone, off you go, they wouldn't be missed. After a couple of seasons, financially they would be, but the rest of the league would crack on with it and they'd enjoy it more. And it's where the greed, and it's the greed factor. It's greed. It's just greed, and greed. That's all it is.
David, you are spot on with the ruthlessness of the fan base. You can see it in our show alone. The past 2 years, when Leeds United has been in the Premier League, our own show blew up because of people like you guys, because of the Leeds United fans. You carried our show. We're doing less and less shows now this Premier League season because we don't feel the pressure from you guys that we have to do everything. No.
We have jobs now.
I know.
Lolo told me we increased our subscriptions because of me. So you were
lying. Then you left for like 3 months to Romania and they dropped back down again. But what I'm saying is, as much as Mark and I love Leeds United, and you think this, and when the next season starts, the next season starts. If you're not there, you're not fucking there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So imagine next season starts without Everton, without City, and without Chelsea. Yeah, City and Chelsea fans will be, oh my God. There will be such an aura of, this is anybody's league for the first time in forever. Like, let's fucking go. United fans are going to go crazy. Tottenham fans are going to go crazy. Liverpool, Arsenal,
Tottenham
Aston
still
Villa,
won't win
Newcastle. Yeah, but they're going to go crazy for a whole 2 months. But that's what I'm saying. And David, to your point, if the Super League, if they would have kicked all of them down and said next season 9 teams are going to be promoted because we're going to get rid of these 6 twats and the 3 that get relegated, the next 9 championship teams are coming up. You would have been like, oh, fuck this. But imagine Aston Villa fans, Newcastle fans going like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Let's have a bit of that.
And you think we wouldn't watch? No, it's a ruthless.
We were all furious for the 2 days they existed.
I mean, obviously, the 2 Spanish clubs were the ones that were pushing it, especially Barcelona. You know, and why they're saying, "Oh, this could be the death of football. This could be the death of football." No, it couldn't. It's just because you're overspending money that you haven't got. You know, that's why you're in the position that you're in. That's why you're successful as a club, because you're overspending money that you don't have. And
spending on football.
This in a smaller way is exactly what Everton have done. They're spending money they haven't got. It's simple. It's cheating, you know.
As far as the top tier is concerned, since FFP was put into place back in was it 2009, Everton is the first to be punished, right?
How do you know this shit?
Only
they're not. They're not the first, because Luton was punished, but Luton was in like tier 2 ABQ whatever.
Yeah, but it's different because it's not Premier.
But the reason why it was brought together was because, you know, the year prior it was Leeds, Bournemouth, Rotherham.
What sort of cheat sheet are you fucking using? How do you know all these facts all of a sudden? I was gone 1 week.
Hold on a second, man. Do you realize, like, Wolves have been mentioned in the same breath with FFP for quite some time? You don't think I learned about it? You don't think I learned about it when I watched?
How are we cheating? How are we cheating?
When I watched Neves, Nunes, Cody, all those players being just jettisoned, and when our manager complained about it, he was jettisoned too. You don't think I wanted to know why? You know,
they were not, Jimmy. It was Middlesbrough.
I jumped into On the Stoop with Lolo and had never watched football before, and then I jumped in and I got hooked. Man. Hey man. You got any more of that Premier League?
Yeah, you got any Premier League? It's an international break, bro. It's an international break. There's only so many times I can watch that Pablo Sarabia goal, man. I've watched that about 48 times.
Is that not the most beautiful goal of the year?
That's beautiful.
I think that could be goal of the year. I think that could easily be goal of the year.
Can I do a quick trivia question for the audience related to what you've been discussing?
Let's do it, Tom.
Who is the player that has played for all 3 Premier League clubs that had a points deduction? What player played for all 3 Premier League clubs that had a points deduction?
Okay, right. So we're talking.
It has to be somebody Premier League clubs. Been around.
Everton?
Premier or First Division?
No, Premier League. It's in the Premier League era.
So it's Everton, Blackburn.
A player played for all 3 clubs that have received.
Middlesbrough?
I got this.
To be fair, he didn't actually play for them while they had the deduction.
No Googling, Mark.
He has played it sometimes.
He played for a club that received the deduction.
Not Googling it. I was just confirming it.
It's not Blackburn. It's Middlesbrough. Because Middlesbrough cancelled a match against Blackburn. They got a 3-point deduction, which actually led to their relegation in 1997.
Okay, so Borough, Luton.
Luton won't count because they weren't
Everton?
part of Premier League. They weren't the top
Everton's
tier
won,
back then.
Because obviously today.
But
Everton, Borough. I can't think of what the other team is.
I'm gonna go with the guy that is the oldest standing player on Everton, and I'm gonna go with Michael Keane.
One player played all 3. It's not Michael Keane.
It's not Michael Keane. Okay,
it's not Michael Keane.
Goalkeeper.
Is he still playing?
Nah. I'll be very surprised if he is, to be honest. But no.
See,
I
I
mean,
thought
it
he
might
might
turn
still
out
be
that he
playing.
is, but he's certainly not a level worth.
Okay, so yeah, we're not getting. Mo Master says Rooney,
Rooney didn't.
Mikel
but I don't think-
Arteta.
I'll give you a clue. He's from Nigeria.
Not Michael Keane.
Canoe.
No, not Cannon.
Oh,
Iwobi?
Nope.
No, Iwobi's.
Iwobi's too young.
No, he could have played for the other two teams. It's not
So
when they
he's
were. Oh, I like how he makes a
Nope.
comment and then takes his ears out.
he's
Nope.
not at Everton at the moment, then.
No. So, no,
No,
to
but
be
he's
clear,
played for them.
he's played for the 3 clubs that have had a points deduction.
Ah,
but I don't
right,
believe he was
okay.
with any of them during the points deduction.
So he
Oh,
would have
could
been
be
with
wrong on
Leeds.
I could be wrong on Portsmouth, but I don't believe it. Because he definitely didn't play in 1997 when they got it.
That's a
With
good.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's not you,
Master,
go.
sorry, I didn't see your question. Type up your question again, and we'll ask it next. But so we've got John Mikel, Billy the Fish Thompson,
I don't know.
or both.
The
Kanu,
answer
Adebayor?
is he's ready for the answer. It's not or Kanu or Osimhen. When did Victor Osimhen play for Portsmouth?
last year.
And he's
for
also
like a minute.
23.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for the answer? You'll kick yourself.
Absolutely.
Yakubu.
Yakubu.
Okay.
Okay.
It is Yakubu. And as a bonus, he has also played for Reading and Coventry, who are points deduction specialists, let's just say.
Yeah.
Well,
He's actually played for 5 teams that have had a points deduction, but
yeah.
3 in the Premier League.
Well, see, if you let a director John know these questions beforehand, he could have a graphic ready to show us who the fuck you're talking about.
We only do
That's not in
graphics
our
on We
budget.
All Love Leeds. No, that's not We All Love Leeds thing.
It's not in our budget.
All right. Yaruba.
He was a
Yaruba.
good player.
All right.
He was an
Okay.
all right player. He played.
He's an all right player. Okay. Well, all right. Trivia question. What does Mbappe, Zidane, and Messi have most in common?
Well, he already said earlier that they both won and lost World Cup finals.
Yeah, they've played in World Cup finals and they've lost World Cup finals. They've won and lost World Cup finals. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
You asked him to type it up again. I just actually scrolled up and found it.
Yeah, I was scrolling up. I didn't see any of those, but he also had the answer.
Right.
The answer was there for us. It was an okay question.
Oh, Yakubu also played for Blackburn, who were in the game that never happened because Middlesbrough had too many injuries and just didn't play. Just said we're not playing the game, which led to the 3-point deduction. So
they had their kids, didn't they?
Yeah.
Stan, they all have one testicle that is bigger than the other one. How do you know that, Stan? How do you know that?
I thought everybody
just
had
to be
that.
safe. What team has finished the highest in the Football League when taking a points deduction?
Leeds.
Leeds United?
Yeah, our 5th place finish in League
5th, yeah.
League One.
Yeah.
I've got a trivia question.
Uh-oh.
So the question is very simple. Mr. Tom, who's in the cup?
That's a trivia question, so we should all answer. That is Dog the Bounty Hunter, clearly.
Dr. Bounty Hunter. It's Sid. It's Softball Sid.
I don't know who that is.
We wrestled a Psycho Sid, but he always used to disappear around the time that softball season started.
Psycho said I remember, but softball said no.
No, it's because that's what he disappeared, because he loved softball. And he'd always mysteriously reappear after softball season ended.
I thought it might be because he had one testicle that was larger than the other.
Oh, I did hear that about him.
I was actually in I went to Central Park last week with my cousin and my aunt and my cousin's fiance, who is new subscribers to the Stoop, by the way. Thanks for showing their support. He's a professional baseball player. He plays in the minor leagues right now. He just signed to an awesome little contract. And we're walking around, and I wanted to show him where I used to play softball in Central Park on a Monday 1:00 p.m. league. That's when all the best players are available. Monday at 1 p.m. I was on a actors and theater sort of league, and we were like the only team that had actors and theater people on it. The rest were like, oh, we're the bouncers from a strip club. We technically count as performance artists. But it's really amazing to be playing softball on this field and all the big buildings around you and stuff like that. And then tourists come up and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. What are you doing? And we're like, we're playing softball. What is that? And it's a lot of fun. So I was talking to him about like, oh, we should probably get a pickup game here.
All the tourists are German.
Yeah. Well, that's how they sound.
No, that's Austrian. That's Austrian. That's definitely an Austrian accent.
Straight up like Ecuadorian looking people, and they come up. What are you doing?
Actually, I'll tell you who that voice was. Lolo just spoke like the villains from Cool Runnings. Nobody wants to hear Jamaica.
You have the bobsled. You hear them go fast.
We are going to cut off your Johnson Lebowski.
We're going to cut off your Johnson Lebowski.
We're going to cut off your Johnson.
Come on, boys, it's bobsled time. But so he tells me that he actually is contractually obligated. No, what's the opposite of obligated? Like forbidden? He's not allowed to play pickup softball. Forbidden to play pickup softball.
And if it's German, it's you're verboten.
Because of his contract. Like imagine I force this guy to like go out and start playing softball in Central Park, and he throws his arm out, like hurts his arm and loses his entire MLB contract. So I didn't force him to do that. But I thought that was interesting. A little side note story. You guys could have peed during that story, but I thought it was funny. Oh, I got the thumbs down.
I was too busy thinking about Cool Runnings, to be honest.
Oh, my favorite character, Sanka Coffee.
Yeah, Sanka.
And John Candy is just brilliant in that film.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, we're at that halfway point. So we're going to play a quick little video here that will give everyone a minute and 52 seconds to get out and go have a little bio break. If you don't make it back in time, it's okay. I'll be here. But it's the international break. I'll take control of this, John, because you're like, what? We didn't talk about this? It is the international break.
We actually did talk about this.
Oh, you guys talked about this?
Yeah. Are you taking the piss? It's the first thing we talked about.
We're about to, if we can just get through this segment.
Okay, what did you decide on? Sorry.
Oh no. We should do the
go ahead, do what you want to do.
The Brazil loves the Stoop.
Yeah, as long as I don't click on, I'm just seeing this. There's an option for Ben's porn video.
Well, that was last week.
It's only 20 seconds. He's getting old, guys.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
All right, guys. So this is a little clip from when my wife went over to Brazil on an international break and got some Brazilian football players to talk about the Stoop. So here we go. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll see you guys in 2.
On the Stoop. Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Soy de Nilsson, desde Brasil, desde aquí del Estadio del Palmeiras. Mando un saludo a todos y mucha salud a nosotros, ¿vale? Un besito, hasta luego.
Hola Lolo, soy Edmilson, ex-jugador de Brasil, de Lyon, de Barcelona. Estoy pasando por aquí para saludarte a ti y toda la gente que te acompaña en el programa. Fuerte abrazo, Dios te bendiga. Hola, soy Zé Roberto, pasando para saludar a Lolo y los seguidores de onthestoopwit. Saludos. Muy simples, ¿vale?
Venga.
Mira, son dos saltitos. Dos saltitos aquí, dos saltitos aquí, dos saltitos aquí, dos saltitos aquí. Y ahí empieza la cintura, ¿vale? Las manos, los brazos. Es simple.
Es súper fácil.
Así, oh.
Ahora más rápido, ahora más rápido.
Oh. Es simple.
Venga, tú.
Venga, ven. Ven ahora tú. ¿Quieres que le enseñe la samba? Le estoy diciendo que es muy fácil.
Venga, chicos.
Muy fácil. ¿Qué? ¿Dos? No, Zé no sabe.
Sí que saben, que es muy fácil.
Dos. Ahí va.
¿Alguien más se anima?
¿Quién se anima? Tú, ven.
Venga, chicos.
Pero no aprendí nada.
Ven, dale.
Salta un poquito, ahí, salta un poquito, ahí, papá, ahí, ó. Tiene que saltar, mueve los brazos, mira. Bien, viva Brasil,
He lied. He said he was going to be here after the video, Tom.
I'm here. Just decided I need more
It's
beers.
getting piss everywhere while he runs.
All right. No, that was too short for a pee break. I pee for a long time. Sorry, guys. All right. So we're back here. I think it's time for a little betting in the dark with Mr. Tom, since it's only me and you, Tom. What do you think? Let's do it.
Why the hell not?
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
Hello, loves. It's time for betting on the dark. Betting in the dark. Got that wrong. Anyway, so welcome to your international break edition. And don't forget to watch We All Love Leeds Sundays at 9.
Ooh,
as we usually go. We go Swindon Town the musical because it makes John happy. So he's smiling right now, even though I can't see him. I can sense his smiling little face. Anyway, so I've gone Harrogate to win because Swindon have actually lost 8 out of their last 10 after a good start. Not in great form. Harrogate, 2 places below them in the league, I believe, but I think they're trending upwards. So I think they're going to win. And their main striker, top scorer, going to get the first goal. Charlie Austin, former Premier League player, is probably going to score in reply for Swindon. Turn 1 into 190. Deliciousness.
Wow. I don't think we have those options here on betting on the championship, but that sounds like a good one. Let's do it.
I wish they were in the championship.
Sorry.
They're in League 2. They're in Tier 4.
Yeah,
they're playing Wrexham, basically.
Maybe I can find some guy on the street that'll take this bet.
Sure, I'll take that bet.
All right, Mark,
Well,
I'm going to
thank
give
you,
you $1. You're going to pay me 190 if this happens. If not, I'll give you $1. That's the way it goes. All right.
Is that street rules?
Street rules, yep.
All right. We're gonna go slightly simpler, okay? Because if you didn't win the first game at 3:00, yeah, you go get the second one.
Thank you,
right?
Thank you, John.
Maybe. We'll go Wrexham. Wrexham are gonna win.
There.
Yeah.
It's never
Mark,
sunny. Never
Mark,
sunny.
you have a snot button if you need to press mute while you're blowing your snot out while Tom is talking.
Go on,
Yeah,
Tom.
so no problem. Well, basically, this is self-explanatory. The team that are doing really well, we're going to probably beat the team that are doing less well. But it'll be quite tight, obviously, because they're the away team. I've got Palmer to score first and Mullin to score second, purely because it pays slightly more than Mullin to score first and Palmer to score second. And Palmer's a big fella. It's a big lad. Big lad. Anyway, so you could turn 1 into 72, which is obviously it'll pay for your Saturday night Chinese. Just saying. It'll pay for it in my house because, you know. But anyway.
Wow.
And because there's virtually no football this weekend, other than England, which played yesterday, yesterday now, and that's to say now Saturday, going for the wrestling because there was nothing else, and I didn't want to bet on the Oscars again. Didn't do well in that, so you go take the good guys to beat the bad guys. And you put £11 on the good guys to beat the bad guys. You can make a swift £4 profit. And I'm not even going to say, and I'm not going to tell you right now that that's not what I'm necessarily going to pick in my predictions. I don't know yet because they've got another show, so we'll let that simmer. But you can make some quick, easy money in the war games.
Wait, so if you bet £11, you'll get 15 back, so you win £4?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is
I just want to know who in the last screen of betting the Accrington Stanley Wrexham that nobody said Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
Accrington Stanley?
Who are they?
Just drink your milk.
We should
just
probably
drink your milk.
We should probably include Wrexham in our conversation about financial fair play because I don't know if what they're doing is legal either.
No. This is all being like, you know, this is all according to plan. This is everything's tied together. There's so many satchels of money trading hands. There's envelopes being passed like
Aviator Gin is one of your
Sopranos, and
they're in trouble if they get bored. That club is in trouble if they get bored of football.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Too much money involved. Too much.
It's unsustainable for someone that doesn't like football.
Yeah, but there's like, this is the new thing to help create, like, or to help further, it's already been created, but to help further the American audience of English football. You know, they tried it with Ted Lasso. That failed miserably because suddenly that TV show began to care about feelings, and it became really weird. But Welcome to Wrexham, what's that on Hulu? That has legs, and that culminates because of the star power that's behind it. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. There's star power behind it.
One.
Those are very popular cultish actors in Hollywood. And that TV show culminates with Wrexham breaking into the Premier League. It's inevitable. It is as inevitable as Holland's next goal.
They don't have the money to get into the Premier League.
Ryan Reynolds is a billionaire. Ryan Reynolds is a billionaire.
Billionaire.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He sold his mobile company. He's a billionaire. He's a very look. He might.
He's got his fingers in so many pies.
Everyone knows him as an actor, but he is actually a very, very shrewd businessman.
Okay.
And everything that he's touched, he has turned into millions and billions. His mobile company, his gin company. He's got something else cooking right now. For all you Wall Street players out there, I would follow him, and his next move, I would dump a bunch of money into it.
Yeah, but you know what? Then, if he's a billionaire, right? Let's say that's true. Now you say that, no reason to doubt it's not. But my point is, he's got that way by not wasting that money. So he's not going to waste it on trying to get into the Premier League because it will take a lot. It will take more than you think.
He has a deal with Hulu, one of the biggest streaming services in the world, that has a show about his football club.
I don't give a fuck if he has to deal with Mickey Mouse.
Final punchline of that show, pardon me, is going to be them breaking into the Premier League. We got someone else who might have a word or two to be said about the amount of money that good old Ryan Reynolds has.
Tilt your camera, though. You got you down at the bottom of the frame there. There you go. Get that beautiful mug on camera. There you go.
Nobody wants to see me, though. I'm
Hey,
ugly.
Gary.
Everyone wants to see your smiling face, Gary.
Hello,
I
Mr.
see you
Tom.
too much, Gary.
Mark.
Too much.
You do. I do. You keep following me around.
Yeah.
But I was here first, so
Oh, you're true.
it doesn't work, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Gary, we did warn you. We did
Yes.
warn you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I did not heed the warning, and it's too late now. I'm not
Very
going
good
anywhere.
to see you, Gary.
Good seeing you guys. Yes, good seeing you.
Yeah, I've been.
Lolo, you've been chasing. You've been like hitting the globe, like trying to touch every corner of the globe, haven't you?
Yeah, man. I had a 10-day stint where I was in Chicago, then Paris, then Boston, nonstop, back to back to back, and yeah, driving my head crazy. But it's been fun.
Hello, John. Hello, Ian.
So, fellas,
Is French cuisine better than English food?
Oh my God, the French food was so good. And the biggest difference is they use butter in fucking everything. They make snails taste good. How do you make snails taste good? Fucking butter, salt, and garlic. Like, done.
Snails are delicious. What are you
Snails
talking
were
about?
fantastic. They were fantastic. Yeah. The food there was absolutely great. And I have to say, as much as we make fun of French people, I thought everybody there was absolutely.
Do we make fun of French people?
In the U.S., we definitely make fun of.
Did you tell them
I
you're
thought
American?
you meant like we specifically make fun of French people.
Did you tell them you're American?
Oh,
Why do
Gary,
they
I
speak
didn't
like
have
that?
to tell them anything. With my bonjour, bonsoir, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And they're like, yeah, don't fucking say that. Don't say that. The problem is, we finally go out. I have one night that I can actually go out. We did the show, and then I had like 5 hours or so before I had to head to the airport. And we go out, have a great dinner, and then it's like, look, I saw this piano bar. Let's go to this piano bar. So we go to this awesome little Parisian piano bar. A guy's killing it on the piano. There's this like chick, this very voluptuous, looks like a jazz singer. She's there. She's jumping on the piano. She's singing everything. And she comes over to our table after a while, because we go there and we start buying tons of drinks. We're throwing tips, everything, pretending it's a strip club. She's loving us, getting the most attention she's gotten in forever, because they're not French people walking in going, ugh. And she's like, she comes up and we're like, oh my God, you're fantastic. You're killing these.
What was that? I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. It just
smoking their goo walls.
Some Adele. Next, I will sing Adele, and you.
I'm
may not
sorry,
like it,
but
I don't
Gouas suck. Those were the worst cigarettes back in the days, in your club days. Oh, you got excited when somebody had them, but it was like smoking a club cigarette. Anyway,
So
just
she
for
comes up
those
and
of
talks
you,
to us.
if I can
hold on. Let me just finish that, and then we can move on. So we're talking to her, and she comes up, and we're like, "Oh my God, you killed that Adele song. You're doing really awesome. Your English is fantastic." And she says, "Well, I'm from Connecticut."
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, "Bitch, I came all the way to
fuck.
France to a fucking
Give us our
piano
tips
bar.
back.
Yeah, give me that money back. I'm not tipping the bitch from Connecticut."
Oh, that's hysterical. And by the way, everyone, for those of you who don't know, the word voluptuous, it might mean huge tracts of land.
No, I don't like that. No, I like what it actually means.
I'm actually just riffing on a conversation that David and I had not too long ago, because I used apparently I used too big of a word to describe something. I'm not really sure what. I could look it
Too
up.
many,
word did you use?
too many syllables.
I think I said the word facilitator. And it was like, whoa, dude, put down the
Whoa.
thesaurus.
What?
That is
It sounded like a really bad American commentator on football. It was like, oh God.
Well, fellas, we've talked about the Everton sanction. I would like to move on to Arteta being charged by the FA. That's our next topic of conversation. And so we can discuss the specific sanctions that he's getting and all of that. But I was thinking about it today, and I feel like a lot of the issues that we are having right now with VAR and with the refereeing debacles that we're seeing has to do with the term clear and obvious. Because I feel that we've taken a lot of power away from the referees on the pitch, that we've taken their balls away. And as much as I do not want to make this about Arsenal, but I will use as an example that 3 issues goal that happened where the ball might have been out of bounds, it might have been a push in the back, and it might have been offside. Back in the day, without VAR, I would like to say I would guarantee that a referee would have called that play dead, either thinking the ball was out or there was a foul, and would have called it dead, move on, deal with it. But the referees on the pitch, you saw when all that happened, he was like about to whistle and he was like, well, I don't know, let's let it play because they're going to check it. Well, there's a push in the back, let's let it play because they're going to check it. So we have our referees on the pitch hesitant to make a call knowing that they're going to get covered by VAR. Now, VAR will not recommend that referee goes and looks at the monitor unless it's a clear and obvious, which is where we were left in that situation of it's not clear and obvious because we have inconclusive evidence. So we're going to go with the call that was on the field. I'm all about the call that's on the field when the refs have the balls to make those calls. I feel that a lot of calls are not happening because they know that they're going to be covered. And then they are saying there's not enough for me to overturn your call. However, the call could have gone either way. And they're leaving it to VAR to cover their ass. You guys get what I'm saying here with this? Does this make any sense to you? Where the clear and obvious issue, clear and obvious is fine if we allow the refs on the field to have, boom, red card, boom, that's a foul, boom, that's my decision, overturn it. But there's situations where you're going, I don't want to negatively influence the game, so that's not a foul. Let's let the play carry on, and we'll look at it back here. And then it's never brought, the referee is never brought to the monitor because there's not enough for them to overturn it. So my issue is with clear and obvious, never being clear and obvious, and the referees on the pitch not having the balls to make actual calls. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Can I say something regarding that game straight off the bat? The first bad call and the worst call of the game was Havertz not getting a red card immediately. Had he got that red card, the whole game would have been different. Those other instances wouldn't have happened. It would have been a different game. So it doesn't matter what happens thereafter. Quite frankly, again, the goal that was disallowed, everything they've taken it step by step. The ball was slightly in play, although I don't, Yeah, it might well have been called out if it was a referee calling it at the time, but it wasn't. It was in. The push in the back, was it a push? Wasn't it? When I first saw it, I thought it was, but then seeing it afterwards, I'm not so sure. Plus, the guy has history of flopping in the box whenever he gets touched, and he definitely wasn't offside, so it was a goal.
They can't confirm the
But
offsides.
what you're
That's the one
saying is
thing
if
they can't confirm
had the
that
ref
either.
called
Just like they
any one
can't
of
confirm
those-
it out of bounds, they can't confirm it offside because they don't see the ball. So if you can't see the ball,
if the
you
ref would have
can't
called
say it
any
is.
one of
You
those.
can just say I'm just going to deduce it, but they don't use common sense. They don't. They have to see it to actually be able to make the call.
So they rely on the call on the field.
No, but if the referee
but the
doesn't
call on
see
the
it, the
field
referee
doesn't
doesn't
happen
see it.
because he thinks he's covered.
Yeah.
If the referee doesn't
nobody
see it,
can
it can't be
confirm it with
given.
the video. Nobody can confirm it with the video. So basically, they let it stand, right?
And
That's
so
what
it
happened.
can't be
call on the
and
field.
it can't be confirmed
Yeah.
visually either. So
Yeah.
And
there
my
you go.
problem is the call on the field has no balls because as much as I want to say as an Arsenal fan, there's no way that's a red on Havertz. If you look at it, his trailing
red.
leg hits him a little bit. But on a take the Arsenal cap off, that is the type of challenge that needs to be a red card because it's a dangerous challenge.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it was-
matter if it hits him or not. But we are now able to look at it in VAR and go, well, he didn't make contact. It's not a foul. The elbow to the head, I don't know if it was an elbow. To me, no, make
that's
those calls on the
bullshit.
field. You have the feeling of what's going on there. And Havertz had just missed a tackle and then ran and dove with 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't make contact, but to me, that referee
The
needs to be
intent-
able
the
to
intent
give him
was
his
there.
balls back and say, I saw what you did. You had no way of getting that ball, and you went and dove in with 2 feet. That's a red card. You're out of here. I'm sorry. Show me the clip.
No,
I don't care.
Bruno put his hands on
Can we flip that?
2 players' necks, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
also ran. He took a mad dash from one side of the pitch to the other side and took out one of the Arsenal players. Nothing was given in either one of those. The only time it happened is late in the game when it's like, all right, here's a yell, and it's like it's too late now because
now you can
he's
say
been getting away with murder for the
he
whole
gets
game.
away. He gets
the ref
away with it
missed
all
those.
the time.
He didn't see
He
those.
gets away with it all the time. Every
Thought this
game.
weren't going to be
Every
about
game he gets
Arsenal,
away with
Lolo.
it.
What?
Thought you said it's going to be about Arsenal, and it's just
No,
been a
if
retelling.
we're
of the
going to
thing
be,
that happened 2 weeks ago.
let's generalize it.
No, 'cause we're
Let me
talking about
generalize
that.
it. So, like,
This
the
match
one thing,
just has a ton of these examples
Yeah.
where and I'm saying with Via Martin, looking at the replay of the Havertz tackle, it's not a red card because he doesn't make contact.
That's a red.
Now
he had intent.
I'm
He
saying
had intent.
had the
you
referee
can't prove that.
had some
That's the
balls,
problem. Like they tell you,
he
you
should
can't
have
prove
red
that. So
carded
it's
Havertz.
not intent. It's just a dangerous play. That's all it is. He put a dangerous challenge in there. He's lucky he did not break somebody's
It's
leg,
intent.
and that's
It's
it.
intent.
And then
It's intent.
Bruno
you cannot-
maybe
but there's
Bruno
no such
maybe
thing as
doesn't
intent,
elbow.
because if it was intent, then what Bruno was doing was intent, and they definitely did not use intent.
I totally agree with
to
you. I
analyze
totally
that.
agree with you. Totally agree with you.
No, but like the question is,
And it isn't
clear and
having
obvious,
played
but-
the game. You know that that's intent.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say is clear and obvious, and how the referees are actually managing the game. As soon as they put in the video review, as Lolo said, the referees don't do anything anymore. You see it. It starts to get it starts a little small in the beginning, and eventually they don't even make any calls. And now they don't have the power to make a call because they go to video review, and then they don't even get to check. They should be the only ones looking at that video. No, not somebody telling them, look, this is what I
Exactly.
see. Because I don't care what you see, because you cannot control this game. We're supposedly, right? Supposedly, the only person that can control this game is the referee, right? The referee's the only one that should be able to make a decision on what's in that video. The only thing they can tell them, that was offsides. That's it. Or the ball went across the line. Those are the only two things that aren't subjective to somebody looking at it, right? The referee's the only one that should be able to make that call, and they're not allowing the referee to make the call. They're spending 5 minutes to go through all this video. No, give the video to the referee and say, here's the offsides, here's here's the ball out of bounds, here's the offsides, and here's the potential foul in the box. What do you think?
I don't know if it was Tom who said it last week or the week before, whenever, recently. If it's taken over 30 seconds,
It's not
it's
obvious.
not clear and obvious.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking
It's
about this
something
the
like
other
that.
day.
Just move on.
Taking
Just
30
move on.
There
seconds
should
and the ref.
thinking there should be a time limit on VAR.
Is there
Otherwise,
is
it's
there,
not
is
clear
there,
and
is there a
Different
time is there a
decision.
clock
It
on
was
the
just
one in the
ridiculous.
NFL? Like the video just cuts out? I thought that in the beginning.
No, I
there
don't think
was.
so. I don't think
but
that
hey,
there
like
is
if
any...
it takes more than a minute, send the ref. Let him help you. He was there, and he
No,
can
just
easily
move on.
go up.
Just move
No,
on.
the referee can easily go up and say, "Okay, yeah, that ball, I wasn't sure if it's out, and I'm still not sure if it's out. Okay, let's go to the foul." I was like 50-50 on the foul. Let me see. Yeah, he did have two hands on the back. There we go. Done. His opinion is the only one that actually fucking matters. But we've taken their balls away where they're going, I should call it, but let's see how the play ends up, and they'll tell me. Well, he never went over and
it's because and having heard the commentary that was released after the the Liverpool Spurs game or something like that, was it? It's just so unprofessional. The whole thing is,
yeah.
you know. But if you listen to the rugby union now, if the referees were mic'd up and the referees were asking for it, this is my decision. However, can you check this? I want you to check this A and check this B. And then the other guy checks it, and then they will give the answer.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how it should work. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know,
They're
but
using-
they
they're
don't.
using
The
VAR
way
to-
they've
Yeah,
totally messed it up.
Yeah, they're using VAR to perfect a game that they can't. They can't perfect the game because it's
The
not.
game
it's
should never be
subjective.
about perfection.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, and I don't think
Yeah.
any of us want that. We just want them.
But
the only
why?
thing, huh?
But why, Gary? Why? Because managers bitch about decisions that weren't correct decisions, and it's costing them lots of money.
Yeah.
So the managers and the teams have brought a lot of this upon themselves. Now, you and me, Tom, I don't know about you. I'm loving it back in the Championship. The referee does a bum decision. He does a bum decision. You just get on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't take it. You get good decisions, you get bad decisions. It doesn't take
All
4
the time.
minutes to arrive at a bad decision. Chelsea versus I think it was the goal just after half time in the Chelsea Man City game, where they were determining whether Haaland handballed the ball. Took 3 minutes, and the clock ran for the entire 3 minutes. You're going to say this is massive hyperbole, but I believe that is robbing the paying customer of football. Because the game's supposed to last 90 minutes, but 3 of those minutes have been watching someone else watch a replay of something you've just seen.
Well, it's fans just in the stadium not knowing what's going on, and it kills the atmosphere. All this, it makes it exciting. It doesn't. You know, it kills it. The same as when, the whole thing of scoring a goal is the elation and everything else. You go off with a bit of elation, then you stop because you're like, what's going to happen here? I mean, perfect example tonight was in the England game was the Rice goal. Absolute cracker. Yes, Kane was in an offside position, and certainly years ago that would have been given offside. And yes, he was close to the flight of the ball, but at no time was he blocking the sight of the vision of the goalkeeper. It didn't make any difference to that goalkeeper and his efforts to save the ball. So maybe that should have been a goal. And this is where the whole thing, it's just, it's just gone too far. But I think a lot of it is managers and teams, and these are the big clubs at the top who are the worst offenders of bitching about this, bitching about that, especially when it doesn't go their way. But when it goes their way, they're very quiet.
Yes,
Double
yes,
standards.
that is exactly it. When the
Double
Big Six
standards.
team wins,
And Arteta is
they
one of
brush
the
it under the
worst.
carpet. Yeah.
Klopp,
No,
Arteta.
no, all of them don't. All right, not all of them do. All right.
Yeah, all right.
No,
So your boy Arteta.
If I get away with something, I'm gonna say I got away with it, right? But you're talking about all those other people, right? So don't put me in that box.
Just a homer. Just
No. If you get away with something, you're gonna giggle. I've seen you giggle when you get away with something. You're giggling. Yes.
I'll get away with a lot, and I laugh in a lot of faces because of
Exactly.
it.
So we all get away with something when they go, damn, that was close. Because in that game, as you said, Havertz should have got kicked out of that game twice, and we're lucky he did not. That was supposedly that's his best game. But anyway, that's another story. But
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the Arsenal game. I was too busy watching live wrestling. I don't give a fuck.
No, but anyways, but still, I think they're using it wrong and they're not consistent with it anyways. Like if they just call your game. Just call your game. Yes, there's a video review. Call your game.
Yeah.
And call your game. Guess what? Just call your game. Don't worry about the video.
Yeah.
We'll use the video when it's necessary. But you have to make the call.
Yes.
It's your call. They tell you that as an official. You have to be 100% like that's the call. And somebody else is going to look at it and go, nah, you missed it. Because guess what? It doesn't matter. No matter if you got it right or wrong, there's another person on the side of that field going, you got it wrong. Right? And that other person is going to go, you got it right. Right? Everybody's looking at that foul on Gabriel, and one side is like, that's fine. And the other side is saying that's not. Until it happens to them, then they're like, I think that might be a foul. But you know what? Let the referee make his call. He's going to be either consistently bad or consistently right. That's the problem. I think now they hesitate and they hesitate wrong all the time. You know, that's what I think's happening. So,
well, and Gary,
just call the game. Just call the game.
But that's exactly what I'm saying is they hesitate knowing that they have cover. And then their cover is saying, well, it's not clear and obvious, so we're not going to overturn your decision. What it was what it needed was a call on the field from somebody who was there in the thick of it, saw it happen, and can make that call. You didn't make the call, so we're going to go with that decision. Yeah. But if you had made that call, we would have gone with that decision.
I would like to have heard, because everybody thinks Gabriel is a flop. I would have liked to have heard on that audio the referee go, you know what, this guy's been flopping all day. He did it again, and I'm not going to give it to him. And
then do it.
Move on.
Yeah.
And then everybody hears that goes, damn, he's probably right because he's watching the game more than I am.
Give us that.
I don't think he flopped.
Sterling doesn't get penalties all the time.
People wouldn't say that. They'd say he's being targeted.
He's not.
No, but you know what? The referee's the one that counts.
What was that,
right?
Mark?
He sees it, right?
What was that, Mark?
I said to say that you have a entire different group of people saying no, he hasn't been flopping.
Yeah, no, it's going to be the truth.
You know,
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
like I have my opinion on who are floppers in this league, and I have been met with no, he does not.
Yep.
It's arbitrary. It's a matter of opinion. Hold on, and to have a referee say he's been flopping all day, that throws opinion into the decision making, and that's bullshit.
No, but that's part of the game.
Should not matter.
If Harry Kane is going to flop like he did today, guess what? You're gonna say, you know what? I'm not gonna give it.
I'm sorry.
Right? All right. That's what you do because you have to know this. The players are going to try to get anything they can if you let them, right? If you say
they cheat,
yeah, they're trying to get anything they can because they know that's the only way they can get the game's really close, right? I need a little bit of an advantage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in a hard challenge and see if it goes my way, and if it goes my way, I'll just do it again. I'm going to flop, and if I get the penalty, I'm going to keep doing it. Right?
That being said,
the official to manage the game the way it should be, right?
That being said, we've all seen it, Leeds fans included, where your player is going into the box with the ball, dribbling magnificently, and just getting chopped at the legs, and you're screaming, fall down, but they don't. And they try to get a shot off, and the shot goes nowhere, and they're like, no penalty. Had he fallen down, it would have been a penalty. So they have to fall down. That's where we need a call to be called, where a player dribbles through, is kicked at, still gets a shot away, and then it's called a penalty, even though he didn't fall down. But that never happens.
Bamford said that once.
If you don't fall down, you don't get the call. It happened to who was it for Leeds United? Their first season back up. It was one of your young guys, Somerville or someone like that. who was in the box and you needed
Not
one more
Somerville.
goal and he didn't
No,
fall down.
Bamford got
It wasn't
fouled. He
Pervader.
stayed up to try and shot.
Pervader against Chelsea.
Paveda.
Didn't go down. Tricked his way
and you're
through.
like, had he fallen down, we would have got a penalty that Bamford would have skyrocketed, and then we would have had a real reason to be mad.
No, let's get this right. When Big Pat is on the pitch and the Leeds player goes down, I just think, refs, don't waste your time. Don't waste our time. Don't waste your time. Just carry on playing. If he's not on the pitch, maybe there's a decision to be looked at.
I will say one thing. What I've noticed with watching the Championship this year and having been at a couple of games as well is, as much as we moan about the refereeing and officiating in the Premier League, oh my God, the Championship. If you think the Premier officiating is bad, you don't want to go in the Championship. Trust me.
To be honest, I would love to see it, but we talk about how
it's awful.
I don't think
talk
it's
about
as
how we
bad
can
as you
watch
lot
every
say.
Premier League game in the States. We can't watch Champions League or the Champions.
You get one game. We get one
Championship,
game
it
a
bugs
week
me.
usually on ESPN.
On
You get
ESPN Plus.
Yeah, you get just the one game.
It bugs me.
So.
I would love to be able to watch Leeds.
A lot of the times you're not missing anything, I'll be honest, because the difference in standard, especially, it didn't seem so bad a few years ago, but now it's stark. It is stark.
Really?
I'm
That's because the Premier League got so strong, though, hasn't it?
It is, and certainly the three teams coming down, Leeds, Southampton, and Leicester, compared to previous seasons, they're all strong teams.
Right. There also comes a case where the Championship is just, it's kind of picked over. It's like AAA for baseball, where they go in. It's like, we'll take you. I mean,
there's a lot of nuggets in the Championship, though.
There's a lot of players that we enjoy watching. Who were brought up. They weren't. Not everyone's an academy kid. Not everybody comes from Europe. Ivan Toney, didn't he come from the Championship? I don't know who he was with. Ollie Watkins.
Technically, he was in League 1 and 2.
Brendan Johnson, all these guys. But Mark, look at it.
Before Brentford.
But look at it. Burnley beat the shit out of everybody last season. Burnley was a wrecking ball last season. They are abysmal.
Yeah, but why?
But I think that's
why.
I think that company is he was able to take that team and make them better, but he can't make the talent that team has isn't good enough in the Premier League.
No, it's that
they had loan players. They had a lot of loan players.
I actually have no idea.
Their best players were on loan from Premier League teams.
Yeah. And the same with Sheffield United. They had a lot of
sold
loan
their
players.
best two players.
Yeah.
And Nottingham
I
Forest.
honestly think Sheffield United is the worst.
They picked up a couple of players. You know what? I'm surprised with it.
They're
as well.
awful.
Yeah, but I'm surprised, Mark, because I watched the first couple of games of them, and I thought, they look like they'll actually do all right this year. But then they've just.
To be fair, we were near the top after 3 games. Did we have 7 points after 3 games last year?
Yeah. 4th, 5th place. Yeah.
I remember Jamie O'Hara, noted football expert. He's not. And this was the real moment where I thought we might be in trouble here, because he turned around and went, at least playing like this ain't gonna go down. I thought, this man knows nothing about football. We're fucked. Because all the other years he'd said we were nailed on for it.
Yeah.
And
Luton are the side who they'll probably do the best out of all the promoted sides. I
agree.
And it's because Luton,
they're not the worst of the 3.
And they've got Andres Townsend, and who's the other lad? Everton,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
We do have a few.
We know, Barkley.
Yeah. Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley's still playing football.
Yeah, he's at Luton. He's at
Yeah,
Luton.
every other week.
When
or
did this
so.
happen?
It doesn't
The
start.
start of the
He
year.
doesn't start.
Yeah, he
And
does.
then he
I've been
sometimes
watching him the last couple of
sometimes
games.
start. It's more the role, but I mean, you've got. I'm looking at their list up right here, and they got Ross Barkley, they got Nakamba. He was also from Everton.
Marvelous.
Ryan Giles from Wolverhampton.
Johnny's brother.
Lokonga from Arsenal.
The thing is, they battle. They're a team.
Andrews.
They battle as a team.
They play a fine game, but
Yeah.
it's very obvious that they are head and shoulders below the rest of the league.
Of course.
You know,
They don't care though, because
no.
their club
No.
is South and so away. 10 years ago, they barely existed. Like
Right.
they were in
Who-
like the
who are
fifth
we
tier of
talking
football.
about?
Luton.
Luton.
So the money they make in the
They're in the
parachute
national.
payment, the money they're going to make through the television income for this one season
Yeah.
and the parachute payment that they get following relegation will be more money than they've probably ever made in their entire
And-
history.
Yeah.
And I have to say, when I was in London, I had tickets to the Arsenal match on Sunday, but I had nothing to do Saturday. And I was like, okay, who's playing? I could go to Chelsea and see Chelsea play somebody, and it was like 70 or 80 pounds. I could get a ticket. I could go to Crystal Palace, 30, 40 pounds. I could get a ticket. And I was like, oh, Luton's playing at home. Let me see that. The cheapest ticket I could get to Luton Town was £1,000
Because you can't get them.
because
That's
you can't
why.
get them. So
Yeah.
they, what do they have? 10,000
No,
seat
they
stadium?
I think they're
no,
like
no.
I think they're like
About
8,500.
About 12.
Is
12.
They
Oh, is that with
they
the
are not the
expansion?
smallest. Bournemouth are smaller in their attendance.
I'm just
know.
saying, when your tickets are now £1,000 now, I know you got your season ticket holders and all that, but your away tickets are I don't know. They've got to be making some money right now because it is a like, oh, I'd love to go to Luton and go up some back
Well,
alley.
they're taking advantage
Go up
of the
through the
one
Grand's
opportunity.
backyard.
Yeah. My mate who's from Luton,
Yup,
he went
stand
to a
for
few
real.
games last season and the season before. He's a Luton lad. But never followed football before, but suddenly got into it over the last few years. Before Luton were doing well, I have to say. But so he would go to a couple. He hasn't even tried to get a ticket this year because he's got no chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the sad things. But that's how it is, isn't it? You know. But,
Now, Jimmy, that's a little harsh. Anyone who pays $1,000 for a match ticket is a plastic. I haven't paid that much for a ticket, but I've paid a lot more money than I paid for lots of other things in my life because I've been over in London thinking it's the only time I'm ever going to get there.
Yeah.
I need to see my club.
Yeah,
I will pay
I-
whatever it fucking costs. And
Yeah.
and actually, come to think of it, when it was all said and done, of all the tickets that we purchased, I may have spent more than that to go see Leeds United draw with fucking Aston Villa with you, Jimmy. So
Yeah.
I know I'm.
Yeah. I was
gonna
gonna say gonna say the same thing, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you know what? For some people, if I feel that like, at least for us in the States, obviously because we're so far away, that the opportunity to see a match is very far and few in between, especially since we're coming over there. I mean,
You have to guarantee that you're going to.
you have to you have to go.
You have to
"All right,
guarantee
I'm
it."
going to
Yep.
see this.
You might as well just guarantee
and
by
you
putting the money down on the table.
do what you can to see a match. You know,
Fuck off, Jimmy. Yeah, you won the raffle, $25 for like a 500-pound ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
We love you,
So-
and it's money well spent,
and
Jimmy.
exactly. I mean, we wouldn't change a thing, but the fact remains
No.
is that if you're plastic for doing that, then I guess I'm plastic.
You're still prick for
Yeah.
having local privilege, they're trying to say.
I would love to, be a part of a family or a squad that pays $45, 45 pounds, whatever,
Yeah.
for middle field or whatever. I don't even know the teams, I would just watch it just for the competition,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Glenn Hayes. Yeah, it's
Thanks,
true,
yeah.
man.
I'm
I
a
would have.
fan for the
I would have spent anything.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
for
like-
either Leeds or Arsenal, I would have spent anything. I was prepared to, because what I wanted to see a match.
And
Yeah,
Scooby D too.
you know?
We did that. I did that, and got nothing in response, which shows that my club. I
Yeah,
have big issues with that.
You
Big
should have
issues
got
with
your
the
leg
locker.
off or something.
Yeah,
Might
but-
rule you
but-
around London.
But Lolo, you're just one of hundreds, if not thousands, on that.
Exactly,
field.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's where it doesn't matter.
Football's become rather touristy.
Yeah, but we have
at
a good
Premier
show.
League level.
We have what? Sorry.
We have a good show.
You
Yeah,
do.
the problem is they
do.
watched it and they go, "Why would we give a Leeds fan tickets to the Arsenal match?" And I was like, "Oh, you fucking bastard! You don't hear the guy that pops on all the
Exactly.
time
We
saying
read
no
it.
more
We
Arsenal."
saw his Leeds poem.
Yeah, for real. Ay, ay, ay.
They were like, yes, get him the ticket. Saw the Bielsa poem. Fuck him.
You're like, I liked your Tottenham sucks video, but I don't know. Got a lot of lead stuff there.
yeah.
Marcelo.
He had a good day
Most-
today, didn't he? Is that what
most
I saw him?
most recognised in Leeds is our Lola.
Unbelievable
were.
how much we were
It's true.
recognized in Leeds.
It's true.
Unbelievable. I was recounting that story to somebody recently, and I just kept remembering it was such a terrible story to tell this person, because the whole time I was like, oh, and then there was this. Oh, and then there was it. Oh, and then there was this. There was a table of grannies that stopped us, and we're like, "You're the boy from." I'm putting on an Irish accent for some reason. You're the lad from Brooklyn, and I was like, "What?"
You're the boys
I
from
am.
the stoop.
And then I was like, "You guys want to get a picture?" And they're like, "You can take a picture with your phone." And I was like, "Okay." And I took a picture. Just, like they didn't want a fucking picture. Proper old school Yorkshire
If we're gonna-
grannies.
If we're gonna reminisce, I think
that's a
for
polite way
me,
of saying fuck off.
We don't
I
want
think-
to be recognized
I think
for
for me,
walking.
the
You're
highlight
an
of
Arsenal
it,
fan.
of it
Get out of
all,
here.
all things aside, I think the highlight of it all was the two kids that came up to us, and they were like, "You're the best show on YouTube." And their father kind of catches up and was like, "Hey, you know, can my kids get a picture with you?" And I was like, you let your kids watch our show? What? But no,
Answer
but
Stan's
truly,
comment.
memories that we'll never forget. But in the same note, I would have paid whatever it took.
That
I
might be my
decided
fault.
that's
Stan.
what I'm seeing. That's what I want to see. That's the match I want to go to. I don't care. Therefore, I guess I'm plastic.
Stan about
Plastic
Mr.
watering
Tony's
can.
legs and right into Arsenal. They obviously then Googled Tony, saw the Full Nelson podcast come up, watched Tony's behaviour on the Full Nelson podcast, and were basically like, "Yeah, you don't need free tickets." Or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's
They're like,
My fault.
we
Tony-
have not
Tony-
judged,
I'll
we have not
platform it.
judged him based on his disabilities. We have judged him solely on his character, and decided no.
Or if you were going to judge him on his character, he'd get nothing. Sorry. What?
I'm sorry,
Love you,
Tony, if you're
Tony.
watching or you see this at some point, but it is kind of true, man. Sorry.
Man's got tokens for stuff that probably isn't good marketing material for them. Just doesn't sell like to the
Yeah.
higher ups.
Yeah, I just don't see like Arsenal wanting to like help support the Profit 420.
Arsenal are
Yeah.
going to write back when they do write back to Stan, they'll go, "Stan, what's a titty in the bank token?" You got to watch the show to find out.
Yeah, they
You gotta
probably
watch the show.
yesterday. Like who's Stan is writing us? This guy's got in the bank coins, and then this other guy's got zoom ins. Son's just yeah, this is probably not a look. We want to have.
Jesus.
And
Now,
they'll
this is a
tell me,
scary thing.
they'll go to me, what does that mean? And I'll tell them what the titty in the bank is, and they'll go, oh, that doesn't sound really good, but is the zoom in any better? I'm like, no, it's the titty in the bank under a different name.
Well, guys, we put there in the comments section the StreamYard link if anybody wants to join us backstage for a little bit. But we're coming up on our official 2-hour mark because we started a little bit late today. Thank you, Mark, for covering me on that. So, guys, is there any final thoughts that you have over this? The Everton sanction, the VAR issues. Anything that you would like to say? Any final thoughts here, guys?
My final thought is I now want Luton, and I didn't think I'd say this, but I want Bournemouth to start winning games and make a gap between them and Everton. It's not going to happen, but that's what I would like for Christmas.
I feel that. I feel that too. I'm right there with you. Of like, I don't want Everton fans to surge and let their team recover from adversity. I want them to sink.
Yeah, there's no adversity anyway, and they're all fucking victims. I've listened to so much shit today; it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
they're a good side. They'll get out of it. 2-3 weeks, they'll be out of it.
Fuck Everton. Fuck them.
All right, Gary, Tom.
I'm not impressed with what's gone on with Everton and that. I would like to congratulate you all though on holding my attention while Dragon Lee was wrestling. So well done. He's very good. And I'd just like saying the name. Sometimes I let the others say the name. But it was a pleasure to be on here, and I don't see it very often, but it was great to have a conversation with David. And Gary, but I have a lot of conversations with Gary, obviously, so there's diminishing returns on that. Yeah. No. So don't forget, tomorrow we're going live with the road trip because the trip is now under new management, right? So see Gary's face. But and I've also got to watch along tomorrow night as well. But usually the same people that would watch it turn up anyway. So I'm not going to bother putting a link out or that because you'll just find your way to it anyway. So yeah, have a good week, everyone. Oh, and we're probably going to do a lead show on Sunday. I'm busy this weekend. We're doing a lead show. Just got memes stuff. I already got most of the memes set up anyway. So some of them were the ones that were in our group chat. I stole them. And I'll steal them again.
Gary.
Yes. No, thank you, Lolo, Mark, for having me on. Mr. Tom, David. It's good seeing you, David, on the show live. Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. Yes. Yeah, we'll have our show tomorrow. Watch us for the road trip, and on Monday we got the trip. Catch us on that. As far as football thing, I want them to clean up VAR, and if there are allegations against all these teams, let's finish that off and move on so we can get back to just football. I just want football, and I want people to do their jobs. That's all I want. Just do your job, please. That's all we ask. Even if it's wrong, at least we know it's wrong. If you know an official is going to do something bad and he's always going to miss this call and you keep doing it, there you go. That's just part of the game. Just live with it. So that's kind of what I think. But thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it. And looking forward to the next one.
Gary, if it makes you feel any better, we just got an email from the FA sanctioning you for saying that little bit right there. That goes against everything that we're trying to promote with the PGMOL.
Oh boy, I can't wait to get my fine.
Yeah,
I like how Gary was saying, let's get this FFP essentially he said, I'm going to paraphrase what he said, let's get this FFP sorted out so we can all go back to what we usually do, which is complaining about VAR.
I don't want us to complain about VAR. I want us to just enjoy the game. You guys talk about the game so much. Let's just talk about the game and not about what was lost and missed and all that stuff, right? Talk about the shots that happened and the goals that was scored and the defensive tackles that you're like, damn, came out of nowhere, all that type of stuff. We barely talk about that stuff because we're too worried about what we didn't get, right? So yeah, it's as anything else. It's like the game was pure, and we just tainted it with all this extra stuff they put in there. It's basically as soon as you put the TVs on and commercialized everything, the next thing you know, boom, you lose it. Right? It's not pure anymore.
Now we're getting rid of television rights, Gary.
I'm just telling you why things
How
are
we
the way
gonna
they
watch
are.
a match? Look, Conche has the answer for you, Gary. If Arsenal just get relegated to Championship, there's no VAR. We don't have to complain about it.
There you go.
Play there every week.
David said he said it's no fun down there.
Gary, if you want pure football, next time we're all together, we'll take a couple of jerseys off, throw them on the floor, get a ball, and that'll be the goalpost. Is the jerseys on the floor? How's
there
that?
You go. See, yeah,
that's pure football.
Days, for sure.
Finger the duck, saying hello, Anders.
Well, see, here you go, Gary. We need to win the Champions League so we stay in Champions League, but then get relegated so we can play in the Championship and the Champions League and not deal with the Premier League. There you go. Hi, Anders. Good to see you, my man.
Hello, boys.
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right, Mark, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I mean,
I'm a
I
duck.
could expound upon this whole clear and obvious error, whatever. Could expound upon all three looks and how it may have affected Arsenal, but it still didn't cover up for their poor striker play against one of the better defenses in the Premier League. But I think really what I want to say is if you beat City and Spurs, raise your hand.
Oh, we didn't beat Spurs. You did it, man. You did it.
And I just want to say we a good club. That's all I got to say, I guess.
Why can't Spurs get done for FFP?
Because they make
hundreds
hundreds of millions a year.
I get that. It would just be really convenient.
Empty, dusty trophy case be said, but as far as money, I mean, Tottenham's the top club. You know, it is no longer what you've done; it's what you have and what you can spend. You know, that makes you a top club right now.
Mark,
you know?
No.
Oh,
hey, Mark,
is that what they call you?
Who was the top performer at Tottenham last season?
Kane?
No, Beyonce. Beyonce brought in the most money out of anyone to perform at Tottenham Stadium. And on that, we love you guys. If you want to join us and continue talking with us, we will be backstage for a little while longer, getting a little crazy. And I may actually tell Tom what my real answer is to that question he had about Tottenham once the cameras stop rolling. So we'll see you guys backstage.
Cheers, guys.
And nobody plays this week. I guess it's all international. So I hope all your players stay healthy in this international break. And much love to you all. Thank you all for joining us on this Friday night. We'll see you next Friday. We will be back. Peace from Brooklyn, y'all.